Is it possible?
Security NBC Sports Update. Here's your host, Jimmy Roberts.
And hi again, everyone. We welcome you inside our New York studio. A full day ahead, starting in just a few minutes with the International Auto Show from, where else? Detroit. That makes sense, doesn't it? Then at 3 Eastern, it's the Chevrolet U.S. Snowboard Grand Prix. This, the final stop and the event that will determine the U.S. team for Torino. And rounding out the day, it's figure skating. Hyundai presents Sarah Hughes and Friends at 4 o'clock Eastern. But before we get started, a moment to revisit a memorable day in college basketball. Sunrise Saturday saw the top 3 teams in college basketball all unbeaten. Today, nobody's perfect. The biggest surprise of all took place at the MCI Center. Unranked Georgetown hosting #1 Duke and the Blue Devils. First half, Ashante Cook, the long 3. Georgetown up by 14 at the half. What's going on? Second half, Duke within 7. Sheldon Williams drives. The ball is stripped. Outlet pass to Brandon Bowman for the easy layup. Hoyas lead by 9. Mayhem in the nation's capital. End of the game, Duke down by 3. Ball in the hands of the freshman point guard Greg Paulus, but he loses it, and Georgetown pulls off the upset 87-84. In Knoxville, undefeated Florida and the Vols tied at 76. Corey Brewer on the break. His pass intercepted by Chris Lofton. Outlets to Dane Bradshaw. Vols by 2. Last chance for the Gators, but Lee Humphrey missing the 3-pointer, and Florida falls from the ranks of the unbeaten as well. St. John's hosting Pittsburgh. Johnny's come out on fire. Lamont Hamilton with the 3, part of a 14-0 run to start the game. The Panthers made a run late. Carl Krauser from New York City, ironically, misses the 3, but Aaron Gray there to get the board. Pull Pitt within 1, 51-50. Down 3 with time running out. It's Krauser again attempting the 3-pointer and missing. St. John's grabs the rebound and the upset 55-50. So who'll be #1? Well, how about UConn playing Louisville, I should say. Marcus Williams finds Hilton Armstrong under the net for the dunk. Huskies by 3. Louisville down 10 late. Brian Harvey loses the ball to Williams, who scores on the breakaway. That sealed the game for UConn as they go on to win it. For all the latest college basketball news, scores, and stats, log on to NBCSports.com. Check out a special interactive that lets you vote for the #1 team in the country. It's all at NBCSports.com. And turning to the NBA now. And on Friday, LeBron James had a season-low 14 points in a loss to Golden State. That had to be bad news for Cleveland's opponent last night, the Utah Jazz. The law of averages likely to assert itself at any moment, and it did on Saturday night. Third quarter, LeBron James with a soaring dunk. Cleveland up 66-58. Late in the third quarter, LeBron this time knifing through the lane. That puts the Cavs up by 7. And James given to the dramatic look at this in the fourth quarter.
This has been the ADT Security NBC Sports Update. ADT Security Services, the world leader in home and business security.
The chill of a January afternoon in Detroit melts away with the thoughts of warmer days and wonderful cars. We've got the keys to every one of them and a seat reserved just for you.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. There behind the glass stands a real blade of grass. Be careful as you pass. Move along, move along. Come inside, the show's about to start. Guaranteed to blow your head apart. Rest assured, you'll get your money's worth. With this show, it happened all right. You gotta see the show. It's a dynamo. You gotta see the show. It's rock and roll.
Welcome to the 2006 International Auto Show on NBC. Now, this is not just another auto show. This is the Daytona 500 of auto shows. Sure, there are others, but this is the one everybody wants a ticket to. We've got your ticket and a personally guided tour around this truly fast track. Get ready to jump in the gas. Dave Burns is on the pole, and he's taking us right to the green flag. Dave?
Well, Bill, if I'm on the pole, it's about driving. We're going to take out some of the hottest cars here on the floor and give them a little test run. And you know, we're going to have fun. It's about the American car makers showing you their new cars and new ideas for 2006. They want to get you excited, so you'll go to a showroom and help them have their best sales year ever.
And it's about the future. With gas prices being so high these days, the buzzword once again this year, hybrid cars. And the future also means concept cars. We'll show you some of the hottest, coolest cars that may be coming to a dealership near you soon. Bill, as always, the International Auto Show, it's about the past, the present, and the future. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 2006 International Auto Show. Bill Weber along with the homecoming king, Benny Parsons. Detroit is a homecoming for you.
It really is, Bill. I lived in Detroit from 1960 until 1970. I always tried to get to the auto show and try to meet those racing types to further my racing career.
Well, then you know how this show has grown.
Well, it's unbelievable. The first year they held this show was 1907. 33 cars exhibited. This year, over 700. You know, gasoline at $2.50 a gallon. Fuel efficiency, that's a buzzword. But we know that Americans aren't going to give up the SUVs, the pickups, and the performance cars. They're all here to be seen.
Well, we've got a lot to show you, but we've only got 2 hours. It's a real race. We'll hit the ground running. We'll also take to the air with one of the city's goodwill ambassadors. Roger Penske gives us a tour. We might even take a peek at Ford Field, where this city will host the Super Bowl 2 weeks from today. And it's all going to start right here at Daimler Chrysler when we continue on NBC.
Streets of fire, streets of fire, streets of fire.
The scorching hot Chrysler 300 with available all-wheel drive.
For the first time ever, get $1,000 overstock bonus cash and get a Chrysler 300 for under $24,000.
I woke up in the middle of the night, terrified. Someone tried to come in my house. Fortunately, we had an ADT security system.
Mrs. Parker, this is ADT. We're receiving an alarm. Are you all right?
Yes, we're okay. I'm glad ADT was there, watching out for my family.
Don't take chances. Take control of your family's safety with ADT, America's #1 security company. Call now and save up to $200 on ADT protection packages. ADT, always there.
Time to order your flowers from FTD. Visit your local FTD florist. Ask about same-day delivery. Visit your FTD florist today.
NBC's coverage of the International Auto Show is brought to you by Chrysler, inspiration comes standard, and by ADT, America's residential and commercial security leader.
The 2006 International Auto Show continues on NBC. And Benny Parsons, when I say Daimler Chrysler to you, what do you think of?
Well, I think of Dodge because of their racing connection. After all, we see those vehicles each and every week. But really, this manufacturer is more than Dodge. It's Chrysler cars, Mercedes, Maybachs, and also the Jeeps.
Well, Daimler Chrysler has created a lot of buzz at this year's auto show. Starting with what's old is new again. This Challenger is one of the cars people are talking about. The Challenger has been rethought, reworked, and redesigned. It's now a concept car offering a Hemi-powered performance coupe derived from the classic American muscle car. The Dodge Caliber, all the tough you'll need, its broad-shouldered stance and unmistakable grille, serves as a fortress surrounding an all-inviting interior which comfortably seats 5 adults. The Chrysler Imperial concept car is the finest expression of the Chrysler marquee. Comfortably, 5 adults can get in this one. Chrysler Aspen provides the best-in-class horsepower and torque with the towing and hauling capability of a large SUV and the fuel efficiency of a smaller, full-size SUV. The Jeep Wrangler is the most capable off-road vehicle in the world and more. It's a direct descendant of the original Jeep, the 1941 Willys MB. For more, let's check in with Marty Snyder. Well, let's kick things off from the floor, Bill, with one of the most exciting and interesting concept cars here this year at the North American International Auto Show, the Chrysler Imperial. Now, it takes many of its design cues from the original Imperials built back in the 30s and the 50s, but this car reminds many of the ultra-luxury Rolls-Royce Phantom. It rides on the Chrysler 300 platform, but this model has been stretched out an additional 17 inches to a full 18 feet. Inside, it features 4 individual seats, while the rear doors are reversed hinged to make it easier to get in and out of. As you can see, the Chrysler Imperial concept could be the perfect combination of power and comfort. How about this? Chrysler finally jumps into the SUV market with the Aspen. This impressive vehicle seats up to 8 people and features stow-and-go seats, which have come in Chrysler minivans for the past couple of years. The Aspen has a load of storage space when needed. The second and third rows folded down. You have more than 160 cubic feet of storage. The Aspen will be available this fall, starting under $30,000. New this year from Chrysler is a special version of the popular 300 called the Heritage Edition. And this 300 is the only one that's available in this pretty good color, Inferno Red. Other differences include a small spoiler on the back and sportier seats. It carries the same 5.7-liter Hemi V8, though, giving you all the power you want from this Chrysler, starting at around $36,000.
The new 2007 Jeep Wrangler made its debut here at the International Auto Show. And even though Jeep has been around for 65 years, they keep offering more and more and more. Compared to the previous generation of the popular 4x4, the new Wrangler has more off-road capability, more on-road refinement, more space and comfort, more open-air options, more power, more safety features, and more convenience. Well, like I said, more. Now, Jeep is branching out to reach new buyers with its first-ever crossover vehicle, the Compass, which also made its debut here in Detroit. And finally, the Grand Cherokee SRT8. This is the most powerful Jeep ever with its 6.1-liter Hemi V8 engine that generates 425 horsepower and goes from 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds. Well, you definitely have to spend more than 5 seconds at the Jeep displays. In fact, all the Daimler Chrysler displays every year seem to get better and better. And Phil Bockhorn, why do you guys go to so much trouble to make such a splash every year?
Well, Dave, I think it has a lot to do with our product lineup. We think we build products that are exciting, boldly designed, and really fun. And that itself lends it to a design that you see here, whether it's Jeep or Dodge or Chrysler. We want the people to become engaged in what they see, not only on the product side, but hopefully on the stand side as well. So you'll see the waterfalls, or you'll see the rock climbing wall in Jeep, but in Dodge, you'll see the Hemi display, and you'll see the Super Bee. In Chrysler, it's a little more sedate, but appropriate to that brand itself. So it's really a reflection of the products that we build.
And as a testament, all during the show, these booths are some of the most crowded on the floor. Bill?
Mark your calendars, Sunday, February 19th. It's the Great American Race, NASCAR's biggest day, the Daytona 500. Don't miss Jeff Ford, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Tony Stewart, and all of NASCAR's biggest stars as they make a run at history. That's the Daytona 500, Sunday, February 19th on NBC. Well, Benny, as you mentioned, Daimler Chrysler includes Dodge. Now, each week on the NASCAR Nextel Cup circuit, you'll find the stars of the sport behind the wheel. But during the off-season, they went in front of the cameras to make some commercials, and we snuck behind the scenes.
Hey, I'm Jeremy Mayfield, Casey Kane. We're here in LA shooting a commercial for Dodge.
And roll camera. And action, Jeremy.
What's cool, we've been in this parking lot, and I bet we put 200 miles on our cars and haven't gone nowhere. Just spin it. Yeah, we've been wearing them out. It's been cool.
Started yesterday. Sides, more steam on the sides. We go, sport on, here we go. Too much steam, that's a little too much steam.
Go do a stunt for us off the top of that.
What I like to do, I'm gonna do a stunt. I'm gonna run down through here and you act like you shoot me and I'll flip over the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Poof. Anytime we do commercial stuff, it's a lot of fun, and especially when you see the end result, you know, how it comes out. And I know this one here has probably been the funnest one I've ever done as far as, you know.
It's because the road's been wet all the time.
It's been wet. We've been sliding the cars around and going through the car wash wide open.
Jeremy, keep coming. Dan, turn that way, Jeremy. And action, car 2. There we cut. In both cars, one, please reset.
I mean, where else can you go get a, well, it's a Dodge Magnum, but it's a station wagon pretty much that look alike, and it's got a hot rod Hemi in it, man. This thing's fly. You pull up a stoplight, the guy pulls up next to you in this hot rod, you're gonna outrun him, I can tell you that.
Guys, you get heads up a bit, though. The shot here is you guys head that way. You're both trying to race to get out the driveway for side by side. All right, guys, here we go, and roll sound.
it's pretty cool to be race car drivers and turn into, you know, the superstars that we are today as far as actors and stuff. You know, Casey and I we got several contracts lined up now to do some movies and stuff. We're probably not going to have time to do them.
Stick with the racing.
Yeah.
Even if you know it's great.
Code Red. I'm being pursued. I'm procuring a getaway car. Pronto. I need a car. Now.
Sure, but you'll need insurance.
No problem. I'm going to Esurance. I can buy my policy online instantly.
You're gonna have proof of insurance from Esurance?
Quote, buy, print. Instantly at Esurance. If you're on the go, you've got to have Esurance.
Get your quote at esurance.com today.
We build the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And now we just lowered the sticker price on every one. Chevy, an American revolution.
Listen up! The big game gear up is on now. Make a play for the perfect home theater system. Get no interest till 2009, and just in time for the big game, all home theater is on sale. The big game gear up is on now at Best Buy.
We just lowered the sticker price on every Chevy Silverado. Silverado now starts at $16,990. Chevy, America's #1 brand, America's #1 value.
Coming up next Sunday, it's the return of the Arena Football League. Be sure to catch every pass, every touchdown, and every hard-hitting slam as the AFL returns for its 20th season. You can feel the excitement here at the 2006 International Auto Show. And Benny, once again this year, the mix between NASCAR and the street car is very evident.
You know, Bill, the slogan back in the 50s and 60s, win on Sunday, sell on Monday. I think it's still true, but I think it's changed. I think the fans follow the drivers today. They want to drive the vehicle their hero drives.
Well, Dodge has plenty of heroes in its starting lineup, and for more on that, let's go back to Marty.
Well, I have found not only one of the most popular cars, but one of the hottest cars here at the auto show. It is the Dodge Challenger concept muscle car. Now, it takes many of its cues from the original Dodge Challenger built back in 1970, like that front grille. You see that wide mount? That kind of looks familiar, doesn't it? And the black racing stripes on the hood as well. It is not a copy, however, of the original Dodge Charger. The designers feel they have improved and updated on the Challenger. The car has a longer wheelbase, is also wider than the original, and is completely redesigned on the interior. Now, the aesthetics are nice, but what everybody responds to in a muscle car is, of course, the muscle, and this has plenty of it. It has a V8 6.1-liter Hemi under the hood. That translates into an impressive 425 horsepower, a top speed of 174 miles an hour, and a 0 to 60 time of 4.5 seconds. The folks at Dodge wanted to, quote, invoke all those sweet memories, everything you thought the Challenger was, and more, unquote. It looks like they have succeeded. By the way, no word on whether or not the Challenger will be a production car, but Dodge has a long history of taking their concept cars and making them production vehicles. Let's hope that's the case for the Challenger. Also this week, Dodge introduced its replacement for the Neon, the Caliber. This car is an entry-level four-door hatchback that comes in 3 trim levels. The RT, which features a 2.4-liter four-cylinder engine that generates 172 horsepower. $13,985 is the base price, and it's available this spring. The SRT-8 is a new trim level for the Dodge Charger. Some changes and enhancements over the other Charger models include a sportier look, 20-inch wheels, bigger brakes, and a 6.1-liter V8 Hemi SRT engine. The SRT-8 is available now at your Dodge dealers. Alan?
Well, Marty, I'm over here on the truck side of the Dodge setup. They've got a few new things they want to show off for 2006, including this. This is the Dodge Ram Mega Cab, called the Mega Cab because the cab is big. You can sit 6 adults inside this thing very comfortably, and it's the only truck in its class that's back seats do this. Recline. Isn't that neat? And if you fold these back seats forward, you get 140 cubic feet of storage space inside the cab, let alone what you can fit in that 6'4" bed out back. Dodge builds the Ram 1500 as the most powerful mass production light-duty truck available. It's got an engine that cranks out 345 horsepower. It's also got a brand new frame and suspension to improve the ride handling and quietness. And if you order it with the 5.7-liter Hemi V8 engine, it's the first pickup to offer a multi-displacement system. What does that mean? Well, it shuts down 4 of the 8 cylinders when you cruise above 55 miles an hour. You won't feel it behind the wheel, but it will save you a lot of fuel. The Ram SRT-10 is the fastest truck in its class. It features the same motor as the Dodge Viper sports car, a monstrous 8.3-liter V10. SRT-10 can go from 0 to 60 in less than 6 seconds. These models, plus the Dakota and Durango, give Dodge a pretty formidable lineup if you want to grab life by the horns. Dave Burns.
Well, Alan, staying with the Daimler Chrysler Group, I thought we should explain what SRT stands for. It's Street and Racing Technology, and it's the performance arm of Daimler Chrysler. Now, that includes their Mopar parts that you can buy. It includes anything they do in racing, and it includes cars like this SRT-8, derivatives of their standard models. Now, back in 2002, when the SRT program started, you could only get 2 models. But this year, for the consumer, there's a whole lot more. I feel really good behind the wheel of this SRT-8, but I feel like we should have a true NASCAR professional show you folks what it can do.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Mayfield. Today we're going to check out the new 2006 Dodge Charger SRT-8. We know it looks racy on the outside. Let's find out how it runs. Let's take it for a ride. Oh yeah. But the good thing about it is, like, when you need the power, you got it. Take off, and you don't have to worry about needing enough power. It's got plenty. That's the cool thing about this car. I like it more than anything. I mean, look at this. You got all the power you can ever stand right there. Listen to the sound too. The exhaust is awesome, man. It sounds good. Good race car feel. Just overall, just great power. Unbelievable power. I mean, this thing flies. It's great. Not that you want to break the speed limit or do anything crazy, but it's great handling. I mean, I never drove a car that's got this good of handling. I mean, you go through the S's like this right here. I mean, no problem. I mean, just like a real race car. Just the way the car drives is unbelievable. Good and stable, hard, good suspension under you. I mean, you feel like you got something you can lean on. You're not going to spin out or lose it like other cars. You know, probably the best brakes I've ever seen a car have. Look, anti-lock brakes, never lock them up. Dead stop. 80 mile an hour maybe, dead stop. Pretty cool, short distance. Man, it's pretty amazing you can get this much car with all these features for somewhere around $38,000. That's really impressive.
I think Mayfield rather enjoyed that little test drive, but you know, the SRT-8 really fits the SRT profile. Great track performance without a punishing street experience. Bill?
We have the pleasure of watching those 400 and 500-mile races every Sunday, but it's not just the drivers and the crews that are working.
No, it's the engineers trying to take the technology they learned from the racetrack and installing it in the street cars that we drive today, making them safer and faster.
A lot ahead as we continue from Detroit, including the reporter's dream. Alan, Dave, and Marty all got to take test drives in some pretty cool cars.
Again?
Yes, sir.
Why don't we get to drive, Bill?
They found your NASCAR driving records.
That's right.
And later on, we'll have the very interesting story of a man who used to put championship-winning power under the hood in the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series, and how driver Jimmy Johnson made sure his passion for performance will live forever.
The guy just not only was a superior and a boss and somebody that you would look up to for his advice and help you through your business life, but the guy was so strong in his personal life. And that was something that I was fortunate enough to get to know him, and he truly was one of my closest friends.
More Americans choose Chevy than any other brand. And now, we just lowered the sticker price on every car, truck, and SUV we sell. Find out more. Click on head-to-head at Edmunds.com. America's #1 brand, America's #1 value. Chevy, an American revolution.
When you have a pet, life is better. Because pets enrich our lives in immeasurable ways. Purina shares your passion for pets. It's why we continue to do all we can to help pet owners make the world a better place for pets. Purina, your pet, our passion. For videos, stories, and other cool stuff, visit petcentric.com.
Think you've got what it takes to go one-on-one with Heads-Up master Phil Hellmuth? Log on to NBCHeadsUp.com for your chance to win a spot at the table against the best pros in Vegas.
Have the ace of diamonds.
Test your mettle in the online Heads-Up game and be entered to compete in the National Heads-Up Championship at Caesars Palace.
Jack of diamonds! I called them both!
Contest begins January 9th and winner will be selected February 12th.
There's a poker guy.
Practice today, only at NBCHeadsUp.com.
He's one of the greatest jockeys of our generation, winning each Triple Crown race twice. Don't miss Jerry Bailey's farewell ride, the Sunshine Millions, next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern, NBC.
Year 20 of the AFL kicks off in style. Tony Graziani leads Philly against Tampa or regional action. The AFL on NBC next Sunday, 3 Eastern.
NBC's coverage of the International Auto Show is brought to you by Chevrolet, an American Revolution, and by ADT, America's residential and commercial security leader.
Next Saturday at 2 Eastern, it's the NHL on NBC. Most of you will see the Red Wings versus Mike Modano and the Dallas Stars. Others will see Sidney Crosby and the Penguins head to Broadway to battle it out with the Rangers or defending Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay and Philadelphia. That's the NHL on NBC next Saturday, 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific. Check your local listings for the game in your area. So much to see here at the International Auto Show. We've moved to the General Motors display. GM, another name with a successful history in NASCAR. In fact, reigning Nextel Cup Series champion Tony Stewart drives a Chevrolet.
And last year's Daytona 500 winner, Jeff Gordon, also drives that Chevrolet Monte Carlo. In fact, they just concluded 6 days of testing in Daytona, getting ready for the Daytona 500. And once again, Chevrolet Monte Carlo among the fastest cars.
Daytona 500 comes up 4 weeks from today. You'll see it live right here on NBC. And when we get there, we'll have a little surprise for you. It involves a pretty fast car and a fast talker.
Hey, thanks, Bill. Hey, race fans, big surprise. Check out the new Z06 Corvette. This is the actual pace car that I'm going to drive at the Daytona 500. So that's very cool. I'm very excited about this. It's not every day you get a chance to drive the pace car. Well, I've done it before. And I'm doing it again right here on NBC. Huh? Pretty cool.
Thanks, Jade. Now here's a look at some of the cars Chevrolet's had on the floor here at the International Auto Show. The Chevy Camaro embodies the styling, performance, and passion that made the first-generation Camaro one of the most sought-after collector cars. The Chevrolet Tahoe 2-mode hybrid. This is the first 2-mode full hybrid propulsion system you'll find. The Cadillac Escalade ESV, 22 inches longer than the flagship Escalade. And the Buick Enclave, a luxury SUV concept. For more, let's check in with Dave Burns.
Hey, Bill, the Corvette Z06 is back at the show again this year with only some minor styling changes to the outside. The significant change is under the hood. There's a brand new V8 under there. It's called the LS7, and it's got 505 horsepower. That's up significantly from the 400 you get with the Corvette's other current models, the coupe or the convertible. The Z06 has also got its own high-performance suspension. This supercar is currently available starting at just under $65,000. And Camaro is back. Well, sort of. This Chevy Camaro on the main floor here is just a concept car. There are no specific plans at this point for this model, though Chevy could bring it back to compete with the Charger and the Mustang in the entry-level sports car category. This concept version has a sporty little motor in it, a 6-liter V8 rated at 400 horsepower, but at the same time, it employs active fuel management technology, which shuts down half the cylinders when they're not needed and could help you stretch your gas mileage to as much as 30 miles per gallon. Now let's talk about another Camaro, one being built as a tribute to a friend. In 2004, a Hendrick Motorsports plane bound for a race crashed, killing all on board. One of the passengers was Randy Dorton, head engine builder at Hendrick and close friend of Jimmy Johnson. Late last year, a race motor was assembled using many of the components that Dorton developed. That motor was auctioned for charity, and the high bidder, Jimmy Johnson, because he already had an idea of how to use it to honor his friend.
The guy just not only was a superior and a boss and somebody that you would look up to for his advice and help you through your business life, but the guy was so strong in his personal life. And that was something that I was fortunate enough to get to know him, and he truly was one of my closest friends.
The story is just kind of a great story. Any kind of car built in memory to someone, I mean, it's something that the car guy's been doing forever, and we really love the idea. And putting a 10,000 RPM motor in a car is pretty cool too, so had to get behind that.
California native Jimmy Johnson makes regular trips out to the West Coast, but not always to West Coast Customs. This one looks a little different.
Yeah, this is different. My first time here. I'm extremely excited about the car we're putting together. Haven't seen anything, don't know anyone. Today is the first time through, and know they have a great reputation. I'm fired up, pumped up to go build a car.
Let's go see what it looks like. There's Ryan, owns the place.
Hey, man.
Hey, Jimmy.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Absolutely.
All right, Jimmy, so don't get scared when you see this, okay?
All right.
You know about cars, and you know what we got to start with, and
absolutely
kind of what we can turn these things into.
Yeah.
So this is an OG racer.
I like the scoop.
You like that?
Would you leave the cage in it? Is there a need for it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to you.
It's not really doing much. I mean, if you get upside down, obviously it would, but...
Right. I think it's more for that look and that feel.
Yeah.
I mean, this was more of like a track car.
Yeah, I think we'd yank it out.
Okay. And give it that luxury feel on the interior. Okay. That was one of my biggest things was I want to kind of get your feel for like what you want.
Sure.
And then I'll take it from there. I mean,
It's your specialty.
That's my specialty. Do you want to go with like a low hood, or should we go with like a clear hood so we can see the motor, since this whole car is about the motor build? I mean, there's so many different things we could do. You know what I mean? You want to give it that race car feel still with the big gauges?
I guess we would have to put some gauges in, so since that's the case, we'd probably go all gauges, wouldn't you think?
So, we definitely need a motor.
Yeah, we definitely need a motor. I've got that part covered.
So talk to me about this motor.
The engine, I bought on eBay for an auction that was raising money for the Randy Dorton Foundation. And Randy Dorton was unfortunately one of the passengers on the Hendrick aircraft that went down.
I'll smooth out the engine compartment a little bit, and we'll definitely paint it the same color. That way this thing looks like just a big jewel under there.
So Ryan, what's the hardest part going to be about this project?
The motor. Yeah. The motor.
Fitting it in there?
Yeah, not really fitting it in there, but making it look like it belongs and making it look right. I mean, that's my biggest thing, is we're going to do it, we want to do it right, and we want it to look beautiful. So, especially, I wanted to pop this hood and this thing to just look like, seriously, like a diamond sitting in there.
Well, Randy Dorton was much more than just another hard-working guy in the garage. He truly was a very good friend to many of us.
All of us in the racing business, if we needed information, that's where we went to, Randy Dorton. Hey, Randy, what's going on with the engines? What new pieces are you working on? What failed last week? That's the guy we went to. And you and I were both there when Jimmy Johnson won the bid on this engine. And it's fantastic to see the engine will be out visible, not sitting in a corner someplace collecting dust.
Can't wait to see the final product. Dave, thanks for that story, and congratulations to Jimmy. We know Randy would be very proud, and Jimmy, you should be too. Much more when the International Auto Show continues on NBC.
Flames on the side, tough and ready, crawling on the ground, the 57 Chevy.
Drink Coke, live Olympic.
The Americans win the gold medal!
Drink, watch, cheer, win. Find out how you can win great prizes and share in the victory at Olympics.coke.com. And watch the Olympic Winter Games only on the networks of NBC.
The new Severe Weather Center 11, only on Channel 11 News. From Severe Weather Center 11, home of digital Doppler 11 radar, comes Severe Weather Team 11 Alert.
Our sophisticated severe weather system with current conditions on your screen all the time. Traffic advisories updated constantly and school closings and delays.
The power of Severe Weather Center 11. Count on it mornings on Channel 11 News.
Pittsburgh is a great city, but winter roads and sidewalks can be hazardous. To avoid accidental injuries, slow down and be safe. A message from attorney Alan Levy.
She's over there, like a shadow.
Yeah, worldwide, intercontinental. What you know about me switching the tempo? 411, that's for your info. Make sure it sound nice and simple. We got it. We got it.
Comcast high-speed internet is way faster than DSL and dial-up. Sign up for Comcast high-speed internet for just $19.99 a month for 3 months. You'll get free McAfee security software, plus great features like video mail And the Fan, where you can click and play videos in an instant. And Photo Show, which lets you share, manage, and enhance your photos. All included free with Comcast high-speed internet. To get this great offer, just call 1-866-838-8509. Comcast high-speed internet. It's Comcastic.
Tonight, where My Name is Earl and The Office, right after Will and Grace and the all-new Four Kings, the two funniest comedies on TV now on Thursday nights. We continue to wind our way through the International Auto Show. We've made it to the Toyota display. In the race for global motor money, the Far East is the leader.
And the Motor Trend Car of the Year in 2006, the Honda Civic. The Motor Trend Truck of the Year in 2006, the Honda Ridgeline.
A couple of big winners, and Dave Burns is with one of them.
Well, now I'm with the Honda Civic, the car of the year. And while we say the Civic won the award, it was truly a team effort. And by that, I mean a team of Civics. You see, there are several different versions of the Civic with 3 different trim levels in both the coupe and the sedan, and then the SI, which is the sports compact version, and then the hybrid. One of the people that had a vote said Honda accomplished the tricky task of offering a splendid car regardless of one's requirements, performance, pleasant practicality, or environmental godliness, end quote. Basically, the 06 Civics were rolled out in the 4th quarter of last year with a complete redesign. The body is slightly bigger and rounder, which means a bit more room on the inside. The engine is new as well, a 1.8-liter 4-cylinder that generates 140 horsepower in the coupe and sedan, and a 2-liter 4-cylinder with 197 horses in the SI. The Honda Civic Hybrid carries a 100-ton horsepower 1.3-liter 4-cylinder gas motor with integrated motor assist. That's the electric part. The same combination in Honda's Insight, which became the first hybrid available in the United States back in 2000. The Civic Hybrid is considered among the car maker's EX, or top trim line. It's gone through the same physical transformation as the gas-only version, though the hybrid has boosted its fuel efficiency from 30 miles per gallon in the city and 40 on the highway to 49 and 51, respectively. Now that is a lot of variety for one car of the year. Here's Alan with more from Honda.
You know, Honda got into the truck business about a year ago. I'd say it's worked out pretty well for them. That's the 2006 Motor Trend Truck of the Year award, and next to it, the Crystal Trophy is North American Truck of the Year, given out here at the International Auto Show just a week ago. This is the Honda Ridgeline, introduced as a pre-production model here last year, began selling in the spring. They have sold very well. People refer to the Ridgeline as the truck that rides like a car. Its unibody construction given a smoother drive than most pickup trucks. Of course, the distinct features of the Ridgeline: the 2-way tailgate, down like a traditional tailgate, and sideways just as this. And that sideways tailgate gives you a little bit more access to the trunk. Yeah, a truck with a trunk. Oh, wait a minute. We locked somebody in. Sorry about that. I hate that for him. Why, we could have put Dave Burns in there with him too. And that's watertight, by the way, so you can keep all your belongings at the tailgate party nice and safe and warm and dry and secure with the lock button. About $28,000 is the sticker price on the Ridgeline. It has been a wonderful seller for Honda Motor Company. Not much new on the SUV front for Honda this year. You're looking at the Pilot midsize SUV, and next door the CR-V, the smaller SUV, both with some safety changes, side curtain airbags, and stability assist. It's kind of a form of traction control that allows sensors to apply extra braking on all 4 wheels to keep you where you're supposed to be on the road. Dave, we could have locked you in that trunk, you know.
Thanks, Alan. I'm doing just fine staying warm and dry beneath the hatch of my Acura RDX. Now, this vehicle got its unveiling here in Detroit last week, and as you can see, it's a 5-passenger crossover utility vehicle. It's all-wheel drive with a 2.3-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. Now, that's significant because it's the first turbo that Acura has ever made, and it puts out 240 horsepower. The RDX will be available in June with pricing in the upper $20,000 to low $30,000 range. Also getting its unveiling at Detroit, it was the 2007 Mitsubishi Eclipse Spider, a convertible version of the Eclipse that came out this past fall. Both share the same engine, a 3.8-liter V6 that cranks out 260 horses. It has a soft cloth top that is insulated, good on these cold Detroit winter days, and it operates with the touch of a button. And optional on this model is a 650-watt 9-speaker stereo system that's specifically designed for a convertible in that it automatically equalizes its sound based on whether the top is closed or open. Hyundai had 2 vehicles that were revealed for the first time. The Santa Fe, which will be built in the company's new billion-dollar plant down in Montgomery, Alabama, production scheduled to begin this spring with availability by July as an 07 model, and the HC D9 Talus, a crossover vehicle scheduled for production in 2009. It carries a few firsts for Hyundai. It's the first vehicle designed from the ground up at the California Design Studio in Irvine. It will be the company's first ever rear-wheel drive vehicle, and it will carry Hyundai's first V8 engine available in the United States, a 4.6-liter power plant that will generate 340 horsepower. Let's talk Kia. This is the second generation of the Kia Sedona minivan, and it's been completely redesigned from the ground up. Kind of looks like an SUV, doesn't it? Overall, it's a little sportier with a wider stance and more rounded edges than the previous generation. Inside, it takes advantage of that by being a roomier 7-seater. Or you can fold down the third row flat and stow lots of stuff. Features include power sliding doors, power rear hatch, rear parking sensors, and power adjustable pedals. The engine is more powerful as well, a 3.8-liter V6 that gives you 244 horsepower, 20% more than the previous Sedona. Now, the Nissan Urge is a concept car that's been designed with young drivers in mind. Can you tell? While it has several motorcycle-inspired design features, its most unique characteristic is that it doubles as an Xbox game station. Your Xbox has its own spot in the trunk, the car's rearview mirror flips down and doubles as a video screen, and the steering wheel and foot pedals are used with whatever game you're playing. Let's see what Marty's playing.
Well, I have found the all-new Lexus LS 460L, which is the longer wheelbase version of the LS 460, which means you have a more spacious and comfortable ride. It also features the world's first 8-speed sequential shift automatic transmission. To go with that, the new 4.6-liter V8 engine generates about 380 horsepower and helps this version of the Lexus flagship go from 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. But check out the features in this car. My favorite, the rear seat shiatsu massager. BP, I know you'd love this thing. Come on over here and get a massage. Also, this car comes with a built-in hard drive that comes with an optional navigational system, and you can download up to 4,000 songs. Also, a heated steering wheel, 4-zone climate control, heated and cooling front and rear seats. This incredible car will be available in October, although no price has yet to be announced. Let's touch on a couple of other models while we're talking about Lexus. The GS 450H is what the company calls the world's first high-performance hybrid. It's a 3.5-liter V6 and high-output electric drive motor, along with an electronically controlled, continuously variable transmission. Also, the LX 470 has an interesting feature, Lexus Night View. This is a camera with an infrared sensor system that gets displayed on a screen inside the car and allows you greater vision beyond your headlights in a low visibility situation. Coming up, Toyota is next, including my test drive of the exciting new Toyota FJ7.
Introducing the all-new bigger RAV4. With an EPA estimated 30 miles per gallon, it can handle anything, no matter what gas prices might do.
Code Red. I'm being pursued. I'm procuring a getaway car. Pronto. I need a car. Now.
Sure, but you'll need insurance.
No problem. I'm going to Esurance. I can buy my policy online instantly.
You're gonna have proof of insurance from Esurance?
Quote, buy, print. Instantly at Esurance. If you're on the go, you've got to have Esurance.
Get your quote at esurance.com today.
Thousands have entered Dog Show USA, the first ever dog show for every dog. Now it's up to you, America. Log on between January 18th and 23rd, cast your vote, and be entered for a shot at a video iPod. Pick a winner and be a winner.
NBC's coverage of the International Auto Show is brought to you by the all-new 2006 Toyota RAV4. Handle anything. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
Well, Toyota certainly deserves some credit for some of the most interesting-looking concept vehicles here at the International Auto Show. This is the Fine T. It's a hydrogen-powered car that puts out 0 emissions. And while the engine is still in the testing phases, it's not the only cool thing about this car. The design is incredible. Look at the gull-wing doors. Also, the front and rear wheels act independently, and that provides on-the-spot rotation, which makes parking in those tight spaces a breeze. In fact, Wally Dallenbach could even parallel park this car. It can do a 360-degree turn. This is not your mother's minivan. The F3R offers maximum space. It's a concept vehicle and features a lounge-like interior that can actually be reconfigured to look like a sectional sofa. That makes this vehicle perfect for those tailgating days at the football games or maybe at a NASCAR race. Coming to you very soon, the Camry Hybrid from Toyota. They have completely redesigned the Camry for this year. A new body style with more elegant lines. The engine is a 2.4-liter 4-cylinder engine with hybrid synergy drive. It produces you about 192 horsepower, but more importantly, gives you 43 miles to the gallon in the city and 37 on the highway. That makes it possible for you to go up to 650 miles on a single tank of gas. The Camry Hybrid will be available in May, though no pricing is available yet. Also coming to you soon, the new Toyota FJ7. I had the fortune to drive one of these rugged new cars, and here's how it went. Welcome to the Michelin Proving Grounds in Lawrence, South Carolina. Here to introduce you to the 2007 Toyota FJ Cruiser. Now, 2 years ago, this was a concept vehicle. Now it's in production based off the 1960s version of the FJ Land Cruiser. That was designed to go anywhere and do anything. It was the safari and expedition vehicle of choice. Let's check out what the new one can do, though. We'll start seeing if the FJ Cruiser can live up to its predecessor by taking the off-road course here at the Proving Grounds. And when you sit inside the car, you can tell it was built for ruggedness. Just the interior looks very rugged. Young guys will love this car. You know what? It's going to be priced in the mid-20s. On the road, we drove it a second ago, terrific. Off the road, should be a lot of fun as well. It'll be out in March. Now let's go have some fun. Now, the off-road course wasn't much of a match for the FJ Cruiser, but the pit, that may be a different story. It's an 18-foot hole that they've dug out, which now we're going to try to go through and back out the other side. Now, you have to be in four-wheel drive low, and you need a couple of things to help you out here. Number one, A-Track is as it's called, active traction control. You need that. Going downhill is the easy part, so this is quite simple. And you also need your inclinometer, which tells you exactly how your incline is. Currently, we're at 18 degrees incline. And now for the big hill, we get to the top at 19 degrees, 20 degrees incline. That was pretty good. And now we come down safely back to earth. The FJ Cruiser, definitely one cool new car. Now, playing in the mud for a guy, that's always fun. But going up that steep hill, have to admit I was a little worried, but the FJ7 handled it without a problem. Dave, when this car comes out later this year, it is absolutely going to be a hit.
Thanks, Marty. I'm with John McCandless from Toyota. And John, we've seen again this year, you guys are the king of the hybrids, but there's a lot of variety going on too.
Dave, there is. This is the Camry Hybrid. The Camry is America's #1 selling car. This will be on sale in the spring. It's going to be built in our Georgetown, Kentucky plant. But in addition to that, we just saw the FJ Cruiser in action. We've got the new RAV4 that's just on sale now. The new Yaris will be on sale in a few months. A lot more hybrids coming from Toyota Motor Corporation.
Lots of good things happening at Toyota. We'll be back with more from the International Auto Show.
Baby, you can drive my car. Yes, I'm gonna be a star. Baby, you can drive my car. Beep, 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 yeah.
Because a car shouldn't just use energy. It should create it. Introducing the mid-size Ford Fusion. More innovation from Ford. For a life in drive.
There are lots of reasons to get an ADT security system. What are yours? Call now and save up to $200 on an ADT protection package. ADT, always there.
Let's see, we got Vonage a couple of months ago. It was easy to install. I mean, I'm not really technical, like, at all, and I did it myself. Look, so I just used our old phone, and it costs less, too. It's just $24.99 a month, and that includes voicemail, call waiting, caller ID, and a lot more at no extra charge. So we just love it.
We're not out to change the world, just the way you talk to it. Sign up now and get your first month free. Call 1-800-930-4VON. High-speed internet connection required.
4 years ago, America's best showed they were the best in the world and inspired a nation. This February, they're back. Get ready for the best American team ever. Friday, February 10th on the networks of NBC.
Mark your calendars, Sunday, February 19th. It's the Great American Race, NASCAR's biggest day, the Daytona 500. Don't miss Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Tony Stewart, and all of NASCAR's biggest stars as they make a run at history. That's the Daytona 500, Sunday, February 19th on NBC.
American woman, stay away from me. American woman, mama, let me be. Now, woman, stay away. American woman, listen what I say.
Well, as you can tell, Detroit truly is the heart of the automotive industry. I mean, Benny, within 50, 75 miles, you basically got the industry covered.
You know, all the engineering is done here, the design, the testing. All the manufacturers have test tracks. And you think that road that you go down with all those bumps, that's unique to you? Wrong. Detroit has exactly that same road that they put these cars over.
Well, you can see a lot of cars here at the auto show. You can see a lot of Detroit by car. But the best way to see the city is by air. So Alan Bestwick took a ride.
If you're going to get a tour of Detroit, who better to give it than someone we know well from NASCAR and one of the captains of the automotive industry, Roger Penske. Roger, thanks in advance for the tour.
We're just real excited to show people about Detroit. It's a different city, great momentum, and it's a pleasure for me to take you on our tour this morning.
They got that whole GM building there wrapped for the Super Bowl?
Yes, I understand that's the biggest wrap that's ever been made for a Super Bowl.
They kind of call that the campus, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's Ford Motor Company World Headquarters.
This is your hometown.
Is there any way to describe how important the automobile industry is to the Detroit area?
Well, when you think about the number of jobs which the Big Three support, it's in the tens of thousands. This will be a river walk all the way along here. You'll be able to ride your bike, you'll be able to rollerblade, you'll be able to walk. It's just going to be a great investment for the city. As we go forward here, we're just coming over Cobo Hall, where we have the International Auto Show. Over 800,000 visitors will be at the show during the week.
Roger, thanks for the tour. Good luck with the Super Bowl, and it looks like things are going well here in Detroit.
Alan, thank you for taking the time to let us showcase Detroit.
So that's a look at the home of Big Auto, Detroit, from the outside. But for an insider's look at the auto industry, we raced over to CNBC to grab our buddy Phil LeBeau. Welcome to Detroit, Phil.
It's good to be here, Bill. You know, this year the automakers are going to give us, on average, one new vehicle every single week, and it's a little bit of something for everyone. A slew of small cars for people who want fuel efficiency, a whole bunch of crossover utility vehicles, and this year, plenty of power. Get ready to bulk up on horsepower. Muscle cars are roaring back. Chevy's Camaro and the Dodge Challenger are power rides from the past with a strong chance of coming back to join the Ford Mustang and Dodge Charger. GM and Chrysler are bringing back muscle cars like this Dodge Challenger for a couple of reasons. First of all, they have instant name recognition, so they're going to attract buyers. Second, because they're loaded with more advanced and responsive engines, these muscle cars are more like performance cars. They're not just speed demons. Speed is great, but we learned when gas prices soared that hybrids like this Toyota Prius are not a flash in the pan. In fact, there's a waiting list for most hybrids. And get ready for even more gas-electric action, because we're seeing the first hybrid hit the market this summer with the most popular car, the Toyota Camry. Toyota's not alone. Bill Ford Jr. has said his company will sell 250,000 hybrids by the end of the decade. And GM has its first green model with the Saturn Vue. But with gas still hovering over $2 a gallon, there's still plenty of demand for big SUVs and trucks, which is why Mercedes built this big rig, the GL Class, Mercedes' first SUV built to go off-road. Toyota's doing the same thing with the FJ Cruiser. These are heavier SUVs built like trucks. And you'll see plenty of these lighter, more car-like crossover utility vehicles like the Mazda CX-7. This is what the automakers will be pushing this year. Here's why. Sales of crossovers like the Chevy HHR shot up last year, not only because they get better gas mileage, but also because more buyers want a ride that is a little smaller and a little more like a car. And when it comes to small rides, get ready for a slew of compact cars like the Honda Fit. Now, these are popular because of their gas mileage. This one will get over 30 miles to a gallon, and because of the low sticker price, they will sell. That's why Chevy is coming out with the pint-size Aveo. Nissan will push the Versa, and Toyota has the Yaris. The automakers know there are more buyers who want to save money on gas, which is why they will push more of these small cars. One more thing about the small cars coming out this year, they're much more comfortable to sit in than the previous generation of compact cars. Bill, I'm 6'1", and in the past, if I got in one of these small cars, it felt like a penalty box, and that's not the case with the new ones coming out. They're much more comfortable to sit in.
Good information. Thanks a lot, Phil. As we continue from Detroit, the best of the rest from General Motors, and we'll check in on that very special hot rod.
Introducing Jeep Commander Limited with the electronic stability program, 3 rows of stadium seats, side curtain airbags, and an available 5.7-liter Hemi V8.
Would you please stop following me home?
For the first time ever, get $1,000 overstock bonus cash, which puts Jeep Commander under 26 grand.
Time to order your flowers from FTD. Visit your local FTD florist. Ask about same-day delivery. Visit your FTD florist today.
A star-studded showdown on Broadway. Crosby and the Penguins tangle with Yager and the Rangers, or regional action. Next Saturday at 2 Eastern, the NHL is on NBC. Who'll make it to Torino and who'll stay home? The U.S. Olympic snowboard team is announced at the Chevrolet Snowboard Grand Prix from Mountain Creek. Next on NBC.
Well, Cadillac has the full line of Escalades here at the International Auto Show. We'll start with the flagship, the ESC, which looks a lot like the one from last year, but it's very different under the hood specifically. A brand new 6.2-liter engine that puts out 403 horsepower, up almost 15% from last year's model. It's a little lower, longer, and wider than last year's Model 2. It will be available in March. The EXT next to it, 22 inches longer than this current ESC. It is a reconfigurable pickup truck. When the back seats are down, it makes a full-size bed big enough to fit a 4x8 sheet of plywood. The ESV beside that, also 22 inches longer, which makes it the biggest and most spacious SUV, or the Cadillac Escalade, ever put out. It's the ESV. It'll be due out in June. The Saturn Vue Green Line is a hybrid version of the car maker's 4-cylinder Vue, which will give prospective owners several reasons to buy it. Number one, it's about 20% improvement over the fuel efficiency over the gas version. Number two, at 32 miles to the gallon on the highway, it'll be the most fuel-efficient SUV on the market. And number three, while the price is not official, this hybrid will probably carry a base of about 21 grand, making it very affordable. The Saturn Vue Green Line will be available late this summer. Saab has come out with the 20th anniversary edition of the 9.3. Since 1986, Saab has sold around 240,000 of these convertibles, believe it or not. The car will carry a brand new 2.8-liter V6 turbocharged engine that will produce about 250 horsepower. Now, only 300 will be available in the United States starting in February, all in this color, electric blue. Manufacturer's suggested retail price right around $45,000. You want to jump on this one pretty early, I would say. Remember, the Hummer debuted the H3 in this show last year and is slightly updated for this year's version, the H3X. It is a luxury edition of the original one with a lot of extras and touches. The H3X will be available late this summer. Dave, what have you found?
Well, new in Detroit this year is the Chevrolet Tahoe 2-mode hybrid. It's the world's first SUV with a full 2-mode hybrid propulsion system. It's basically the same as the standard Tahoe, except for the fuel mileage savings, of course. Now, this version has slightly more aerodynamic help to give it that mileage, but most of the savings come from the 2-mode engine, hence the name. In the first mode, at low speed and light load, the vehicle can operate on gas, electric, or a combination, and this, of course, is where the significant fuel savings can be achieved. The second mode is for off-road or highway driving. Overall, owners can expect up to a 25% fuel savings, but not until next year when it rolls off as a 2008 model. Now, this oversized monster is the Kodiak, which can be built as either a Chevrolet or a GMC. And even at that, the folks at General Motors have help. You see, GM builds the cab and chassis and then turns it over to a company called Monroe Truck Equipment to put on the bed, do some overall strengthening, and include options that a buyer can add a la carte. This is a very limited production vehicle, only 20 per week over the last couple of years. Now, the people at GM tell us that there are two basic groups of people that respond to the Kodiak: the hobbyist that needs to tow a boat, camper, or horse trailer, or the guy that just flat out wants the biggest and baddest truck on the road. The charge of the designers in building the Buick Enclave was elegance without excess. Built on a car chassis, the Enclave is technically a crossover vehicle and not an SUV. The interior design includes 2 individual seats in each of 3 rows, with the back 2 rows having fold-down capability for maximum cargo space. It has a full sunroof and a DVD system on a power rack that slides between the second and third rows. Now, under the hood is a 3.6-liter dual overhead cam engine, good for 270 horsepower. Technically a concept car at this point, but the plan is to put the Enclave into production in 2007, coming out as an 08 model. Now, we saw the Solstice Roadster here last year, but Pontiac has brought back an upgraded model, the GXP. It has an improved performance package, which includes a 2.1-liter turbocharged engine that gives you 260 horsepower, up from 177 on the original Solstice. This new engine, as it sits, is not shared with any other General Motors platform. The Solstice GXP will be available this fall. Now, earlier in the show, we mentioned that the Chevy Corvette Z06 had a brand new motor. That's the LS7. Now, those are assembled about 40 miles from here at the GM Performance Build Center, one at a time by hand. And believe it or not, they let me put one together. Now, of course, I would never attempt anything like this on my own. Randy Flynn is the expert builder here. He's going to help me build the LS7. Oh, mama. Those shavings mean anything? Well, now that we've completed the engine, the very last thing to go on it will be a nameplate of the guy that built it. And thankfully, Randy, your name is on here and not mine. While we're here at GM, let's check in on Jimmy Johnson's Camaro build.
I think, you know, together we'll have a car that's going to be unbelievable, but with some history behind it, too. That's kind of my idea, like the email I shot you. Mm-hmm. See, the color is kind of like a dark burgundy, but still a candy kind of feel to it. Yeah. The biggest thing now is everybody's doing like leather and suede, like two-tone kind of, like some leather, some suede. Now, if you want to do all leather, we can do all leather. I just wanted to show you this just because, I mean, this is the new thing.
You know, that's like the body clean, and then when you look inside, it looks not restored, but it looks, you know, you still have the feel of what the car is and stuff. And then, you know, obviously you fire it up or somebody looks deeper into the car, they're like, I can't believe this has all been done to it.
You know, the wheels and the paint on the exterior is what we definitely got to focus on. And then the interior, just make sure it's plush. We can do leather, like black leather with like burgundy piping through it with burgundy stitching or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Got way too many options to choose from. It's going to be a fun process, but probably a long one. I have a tough time making decisions sometimes, so we don't have time.
And my biggest thing, I guess, now would be to kind of pick a wheel or a style wheel that you like. That way I can make sure we're going down the same path together, you know what I mean? The wheel I originally picked, I think, was this wheel right here. just because I kind of gave it that custom look, but still the spokey look like a race car kind of a little bit. So if we want to keep it kind of old school, we can do like a 5-star.
Yeah, I'd like to just see an old school option if the auto renders would be good.
We could do like a machine finished on it too,
Yeah.
you know, so where it's not chrome, with the machine look.
Yeah.
That's really hot. Right
Yeah,
now,
I like
too.
that. So I'm wondering if I want.
You want like a flat look?
Flat look.
Do you? Yeah. Okay. I mean, we can do 20s all the way around, where that way you still at least get a little bit of meat, so you don't have to worry about every pothole and everything like that. Okay. We definitely do that and leave enough tire on there so when you want to burn out, you don't rip the tire off and it's on the rim. Okay. That's simple. We'll get to work.
Still a lot of work left on that Camaro. Later on, we'll take the cover off and show you the finished product. More to come here from the International Auto Show. For more on this year's show, log on to NBCAutoShow.com.
At Geico.com, you can handle all your car insurance needs online. It's so easy, a caveman could do it.
Seriously, we apologize. We had no idea you guys were still around.
Yeah, next time maybe do a little research.
Gentlemen, are we ready to order?
I'll have the roast duck with the mango salsa. I don't have much of an appetite, thank you.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Chevy. 9 out of 10 cars we sell get an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon or better. And now we just lowered the sticker price on every one. Chevy, an American revolution.
When you have a pet, life is better. Because pets enrich our lives in immeasurable ways. Purina shares your passion for pets. It's why we continue to do all we can to help pet owners make the world a better place for pets. Purina, your pet, our passion. For videos, stories, and other cool stuff, visit petcentric.com.
We just lowered the sticker price on every Chevy Cobalt. Cobalt now starts at $12,990. Chevy, America's #1 brand, America's #1 value.
Think you've got what it takes to go one-on-one with heads-up master Phil Hellmuth? Log on to NBCHeadsUp.com for your chance to win a spot at the table against the best pros in Vegas.
Have the ace of diamonds.
Test your mettle in the online heads-up game and be entered to compete in the National Heads-Up Championship at Caesars Palace.
Jack of diamonds! I called them both!
Contest begins January 9th and winner will be selected February 12th.
There's a poker guy.
Practice today, only at NBCHeadsUp.com.
Welcome to the ADT Security NBC Sports Update. Here's your host, Jimmy Roberts.
And hi again, everyone. We welcome you.
This has been the ADT Security NBC Sports Update. ADT Security Services, the world leader in home and business security.
We're on the move here at the International Auto Show. We finally made it to the Ford display. And here are some of the cars the Ford fans have been looking at this week. The Ford Reflex concept car proves that small cars can be bold, American, and innovative. The Ford Shelby GT 500 Coupe Convertible, billed as the most powerful factory-built Mustang convertible in history. The Ford Explorer Sport Track builds on the groundbreaking sport utility truck with its bold, rugged design and F-150 inspired interior. The Ford F-250 Super Chief, inspired by the American Super Chief locomotive. The Lincoln Mark 10, loaded with comfort and convenience. It's a new choice in the luxury crossover utility vehicle market. And the Mazda Cabora, with a compact body, this sports coupe combines the pleasures of sports car driving and useful features. For more, let's check in with Alan.
Bill, that's the distinctive 3-bar chrome grille for the Ford Edge, one of the new introductions for Ford here at the International Auto Show. This is Ford's entry into the hot category called crossovers. Crossover, kind of a cross between an SUV and a car. This thing's great on the outside, but I want you to see some of the interior features. Watch the back seat here, a touch of the button, and the left side, a touch of the button, and the right side. Isn't that cool? The front seats also fold down flat. Plus, it's got a navigation system and an MP3 player. All the creature comforts inside this Edge. A 3.5-liter Duratec engine under the hood. It looks great. Ford calls this their sports car version of a crossover. This has been one of the most popular concept vehicles of the entire show here at Ford. This is the Super Chief F-250. The styling cue for this came from the American Super Chief locomotive. And you can see it's big like a locomotive. Got big wheels like a locomotive, high belt line like a locomotive, and the interior's got some really neat touches as well. Large club chairs, ottomans rising from the floor, and under the hood's another unique feature of this. It's got what they call a tri-fuel system on the V10 engine. It runs on gasoline, ethanol, or hydrogen. Pretty neat stuff. Marty?
Alan, I found Lincoln's first ever crossover luxury vehicle. The Mark X actually was debuted here in Detroit just this past week. Interior-wise, the car has plenty of space. It's based off a car platform, which gives it a smoother, more comfortable ride. It has a satin nickel finish inside with genuine wood trim, heated and cooled front seats, and a panoramic Vista roof. Also available are a navigation system and a 14-speaker surround sound audio system. Under the hood, a 3.5-liter V6 that gives you about 250 horsepower and a smooth-shifting 6-speed transmission for better fuel mileage. Available late this year, the Mark X has all the comfort and quality of a Lincoln, now in a crossover utility vehicle. Also being seen here in Detroit is the Lincoln Mark S, a full-size luxury sedan. That's not exactly a concept car, yet it's not exactly a production model either. Lincoln executives call this a teaser vehicle. You see, a concept car is one that may or may not be built as it sits on the floor here at Cobo Center. A teaser vehicle will never be built, actually, but this is more of a peek at some future design elements that will be coming down the road, in this case from Lincoln. Over at Mercury is the hybrid version of the Mariner SUV. The people at Mercury are calling this the first full hybrid premium compact SUV. Since it's a full hybrid, it can be run exclusively on electric power at times, helping it achieve up to 33 miles a gallon in the city, which is an amazing 95% better than the average V6 SUV. Price is under $30,000. Bill?
Well, certainly a lot of excitement surrounding Ford, especially if you're a NASCAR fan.
A new car for the Ford fans in 2006, the Ford Fusion. They tested 6 days in January down in Daytona, and it looked to me like when I talked to the drivers, they were extremely happy with the Fusion.
Well, earlier during the International Auto Show, I got a chance to talk to Carroll Shelby. We got to look at that Shelby, and everybody loves that car. He's one of the most innovative auto designers in the history of the industry. He turned 83 years old earlier this month, and he has no intention of slowing down.
When I got my driver's license in Texas, 14 years old, the day I got it, after my 14th birthday, I said, "Daddy, can I take you down to the post office where you're going to work?" He says, "Okay, but I want you to drive slow." I took the car out and got caught doing 80 miles an hour on a street called East Pike there, and for 6 months I didn't get to drive anymore. But I've always loved cars, and I've never lost it.
Only Mustang makes it happen. These aren't just words, it's a fact.
All you wanna do is ride around Sally.
When you're going down the road and you see a Cobra from years past or a Shelby from today go by, do you notice it? Do you smile when it goes by?
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
wave?
I wave. I still build them, you know, in Las Vegas and at our factory there. And whenever I see them, I think, man, I thought nobody would remember those things of 40, 45 years ago, and here I am, enjoying every minute of it. The thing that I look forward to more than anything else is what I'm going to build next. Right now, I'm concentrating on the Mustang, the Shelby GT500 that we're working with Ford on, and that's what I want to concentrate on right now, but I still have 3 or 4 cars I'd love to build before I go horizontal, and that's where my passion is.
Well, Carol, I know I speak for all of us when I say hang in there a little while longer, because if you're doing this at age 83, I want to see what comes next. You'll want to see what happens next here at the International Auto Show in Detroit.
There's a long line of cars and they're trying to get through. But this long line of cars is trying to get through. And this long line of cars is all because of you.
Listen up.
The big game gear up is on now. Make a play for the perfect home theater system. Get no interest till 2009, and just in time for the big game, all home theater is on sale. The big game gear up is on now at Best Buy.
Because a car shouldn't just use energy. It should create it. Introducing the mid-size Ford Fusion. More innovation from Ford for a life in drive.
Bodie Miller, world champion skier. Olympic training selected. Extreme. Begin simulation. Bodie entering high-risk zone. Impact in mark 15 meters. Snowbot alert. Accelerate to maximum velocity. Course terminates in 3, 2, 1. The Olympics start Friday, February 10th on NBC.
Thousands have entered Dog Show USA, the first ever dog show for every dog. Now it's up to you, America. Log on between January 18th and 23rd, cast your vote, and be entered for a shot at a video iPod. Pick a winner and be a winner.
NBC's coverage of the International Auto Show is brought to you by the all-new 2006 Ford Fusion. Put your life in drive. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
NBC Thursday is the new night for My Name is Earl and The Office, right after Will and Grace and the all-new Four Kings, the two funniest comedies on TV, now on Thursday nights.
Well, Bill, Mazda has certainly drawn a lot of attention for this concept car. It's the Mazda Cobra, and it's actually a buildable car that was debuted here at the auto show just last week, as it is, but there's no plans to build this car right now, but I think a lot of people would love to see this car hit the streets. It's based on the Miata platform and has some sharp features. Look at the windshield. It goes all the way back past where the driver's head would be, over your head if you were the driver, and a seamless sheet of glass has adjustable tinting on that. It also has a 3+1 seating design with a jump seat right behind the driver. Here's a crossover utility vehicle from Mazda. It's a CX-7. It debuted recently in the Los Angeles Auto Show, but pricing was announced here in Detroit. It'll run you between $23,000 and $33,000, depending upon the options. Mazda brought its a little bit of sports car and everything we build concept to this vehicle. It has 244 horsepower with a 4-cylinder engine and a 6-speed transmission. Plus, it has plenty of safety built in as well, including 6 airbags. The CX-7 will be available this spring. Over at Volvo, we have the return of the C70. The company discontinued the C70 2 years ago to give it a complete overhaul, and it's back with more European lines, which are slicker and rounder. It has several safety features, all going by catchy little acronyms like the SIPS, or Side Impact Protection System, with strengthened and reinforced the side of the car. You have ropes, or rollover protection system, which features a sensor that activates 2 protective bars that rise up from behind the rear seat. And finally, there's whips, or whiplash protection system. Always at Volvo, it's about style and, most importantly, safety. AB?
Hey, Marty, I'm over here with the Ford Luxury Group with everything you need for an afternoon's picnic at your Country Manor estate, tucked neatly into its custom spaces in the back of this Aston Martin. This is the Rapide concept car here at the International Auto Show from Aston Martin, but it's got something no other Aston Martin has: 4 doors. It's kind of a test car, if you will, to see if people who buy the premium luxury sports car with all the fine tuning that you've come to expect from an Aston Martin would be interested in a 4-place car. This car has a unique feature, an electrochromatic roof. It goes from opaque to clear at the touch of a button. You see it there, pretty neat. And of course, all the finely pointed interior that you would normally get. So the Rapide from Aston Martin, a 4-door, something new at the International Auto Show. Also something new from the Ford Premium Group, Jaguar debuting a new XK convertible here in Detroit. It revealed the XK Coupe at the Frankfurt Auto Show in September and the convertible here. In Detroit, the convertible will house the same V8 engine, though the lighter aluminum construction will get it from 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds. Also has some more hands-on features, including a navigation system with touchscreen controls, an automatic paddle shift on the steering wheel, a first for Jaguar, and the XK convertible will be available in April for around $81,500. Range Rover Sport is the new entry here at the auto show from Range Rover. It's the most aerodynamic Range Rover yet. It makes for increased performance and handling. They're kind of calling this an on-road vehicle. You think of Range Rover as an off-road vehicle. This is an on-road Range Rover, kind of a driver's vehicle, if you will, and it comes with a couple of engine choices, a normally aspirated 4.4-liter V8 with 300 horsepower. That's about $57,000, and a supercharged 4.2-liter V8 with 400 horses for $70,000. Time for break. Still to come, we're still building that Camaro hot rod, and I get to drive one of the hottest new sports cars around, all on the way from the International Auto Show.
NBC tonight.
Oh, man. It's raining hookers.
So how do you catch a killer who's dropping bodies out of planes?
Serial killers always have a favorite dump site. This one's the whole world.
All new Law & Order Criminal Intent. Tonight on NBC.
Severe Weather Team 11 Alert has school closings and delays on your screen all the time. Count on Channel 11 News at 5 for live on-the-scene coverage.
Live in Aliquippa. Reporting from downtown.
Reporting from Homestead. Live in Westmoreland County.
Local news as it happens, right from the scene.
Breaking news in Beaver County. From Cranberry, Butler County. In Crafton.
Count on Channel 11 News to cover news that happens in the area you live.
We are live in Brookline. From Denora. Reporting from Oakland.
Live along the Parkway North.
Channel 11 News at 5 is news coverage you can count on.
When Pittsburghers want complete home siding for under $3,500, Pittsburghers call
Pepper.
Pepper Home Improvement does complete home siding for less than $3,500. Call
Pepper.
I'm glad you're driving. I hate this stuff.
The law calls for every driver to have car insurance. But weather like this demands it. 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. We keep you legal for less.
When Pittsburghers want complete home siding for under $3,500, Pittsburghers call
Pepper.
Pepper Home Improvement does complete home siding for less than $3,500. Call
Pepper.
Next Sunday, it's the return of the Arena Football League. Be sure to catch every pass, every touchdown, and every hard-hitting slam as the AFL returns for its 20th season.
Want to learn more about the cars you've seen today in the 2006 North American International Auto Show? Log on to NBCAutoshow.com. Welcome back to Detroit and the International Auto Show. You know, we've seen a lot of cool stuff here on the floor at Cobo Hall, but there's plenty going on outside of the main exhibition area, and that's where Alan Bestwick is. Alan?
Hey, Marty, I found God's car. All right, let me explain. In the movie Bruce Almighty, when Jim Carrey's character became God for a time, this was the car he chose. This is the Saleen S7. 20 years ago, Steve Saleen was a professional sports car racer, very successful one, whose passion for performance was so great he started his own car company. And you want to know how much performance is in this S7? How about 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds? The car's hand-built, too. A look inside the Saleen factory shows how important each and every component on a car is to performance. That's a lesson Saleen learned from racing. So, literally, all of the pieces on the car are crafted at the company's own facilities. The other word associated with this thing besides performance is exclusivity. You just don't see many of these driving around on the street. If you want performance with exclusivity, maybe the S7's your thing. Dave Burns is downstairs.
Well, downstairs means Michigan Hall, and here you'll find a variety of products to bolt onto your car or to sync it up with, including the concept of safe driving, which AAA is here to promote through their new relationship with Roush Racing. Hey, Mark. Now, beyond car safety, there's car specialty. You'll find tuner cars here drifting their way into your heart. Satellite radio continues to grow, and these guys have all the latest applications. Mopar has all the performance parts you could ask for. And if you time it right, a couple of performance drivers who discovered that you're in good hands when you're in Michigan Hall. Coming up, we'll see how Jimmy Johnson's hot rod turns out, and I'll get behind the wheel of a BMW.
It was my worst nightmare. I was away on business and my wife called. Someone had broken into our house. We got lucky. They just wanted our things. What if the guy had still been there? I've never felt so helpless. I called ADT the very next day.
A single ADT system can help protect your home and loved ones from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. So call now and save up to $200 on an ADT protection package.
Protecting my family is the best investment I ever made.
ADT, always there.
Everyone talks about how tough their truck is, how much it can haul. But when we build a truck, we like to think beyond the first load, to the second, the third, the fourth. That's why load after load, year after year, nothing stops a Tundra. Toyota Trucks, moving forward. Special financing and lease options available now.
Victory Lane at Daytona, a goal attained by conquering 500 miles of speed and danger, an ultimate destination where some have stamped their legend and others yearn to reach. The one mission on America's greatest day of racing, the Daytona 500, February 19th on NBC.
Mark your calendars, Sunday, February 19th. It's the Great American Race, NASCAR's biggest day, the Daytona 500. Don't miss Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Tony Stewart, and all of NASCAR's biggest stars as they make a run at history. That's the Daytona 500, Sunday, February 19th on NBC.
Well, Bill, I have found the car for you. It is the Volkswagen EOS, a brand new model from Volkswagen. It's a hardtop / convertible, and with one push of the button, all kinds of fun happens on this car. You get the convertible, and it actually goes back into the trunk. It has a brand new engine package in this car. It'll give you about 200 horsepower with a 2.0-liter turbocharged engine. Brand new model, as we said, for Volkswagen, available late to midsummer at around $30,000. And for 30 grand, that's a pretty good price considering all the fun that happens on this car. Also for Volkswagen, people seem to be excited about the GTI. It's been available in Europe for the past couple of years, but this marks its reintroduction into the United States. The new GTI has a brand new body style, 2 doors plus the hatch, a brand new sports suspension, plus that same 2.0-liter turbocharged engine I mentioned on the EOS. And with the advent of the crossover, don't seem to be many wagons being produced these days. Well, Volkswagen bucks that trend with the introduction of the Passat wagon here in North America. The car comes with 2 engine options, 2.0-liter turbo, a 3.6-liter V6, which gives you 280 horsepower. The Passat wagon will also be available mid to late summer for around $33,000. Alan, what have you found?
Hey, Marty, I'm at Mini Cooper, and this is their concept car for the Detroit show. It's called the Mini Cooper Traveler. Now, this has been at shows in Frankfurt and Tokyo as well, but what they do is for each show, they theme the car for the city it's in. The theme for Detroit, appropriately enough, is winter. You see the winterish color scheme, the winter accessories in the bay on the side, the skis mounted up on the roof. Prime difference between this Mini Cooper Traveler and the standard car, this one's 11 inches longer. There are no firm plans to roll this out to the public yet, though it may become a production car in the next 3 years. The other thing from Mini involves something called the John Cooper Works Tuning Kit. It's been pretty popular with Mini Cooper S owners. They've added it to their Minis as an aftermarket thing. Well, now you can order the John Cooper Works kit directly from the factory, and it'll come installed. It's about $6,300, and it works only with the Mini Cooper S. Dave.
Well, Alan, this year, BMW introduced 2 new roadsters at the show. This is the Z4. Now, it's a great-looking car, heavy on the horsepower, and actually pretty light on the fuel mileage. That's because they use lightweight materials for construction. They also used a variable valve system in the motor. That means fuel economy without sacrificing the horsepower. Here are some numbers that back that up. 255 horses. They can take you from 0 to 60 in just over 5.5 seconds. yet the estimated mileage per gallon around 20 on the city and 30 on the highway. The Z4 will be available starting in February with an MSRP of about $42,795. Now, if you want more out of your Roadster, just think M. And recently, I got to test drive the all-new M Roadster. Whenever BMW makes a car, they already draw heavily on their racing heritage. But when they make an M version of one of their current models, well, that's a whole different story. They increase the horsepower under the hood and enhance the performance overall. Now, for fans of the BMW Roadster, they haven't seen an M version of their favorite car since 2002. Well, that all changes for 2006 when they roll out the new M Roadster based on the Z4. Now, you can order one of these cars from any dealer in America, but the thing to remember is where you want to get it delivered. That's right here, just a mile down the road from where they're made in Spartanburg, South Carolina. That's because the BMW Performance Center provides a delivery specialist to go over every detail of your new car before you ever leave the property. And to test the limits of yourself in your new car, a track out back with professional instructors. Okay, I've pulled the M Roadster onto the driving course. Time to call my instructor. Jim, what do you want me to do first?
Hey, Dave, check your engine temps, and we'll start with a few laps around this course.
Okay, and that's a really good point. Checking the engine temps is important if you're doing any performance driving. And on the M Roadster, it's very simple. There's a yellow pre-warning light on my tachometer that, if it's fully illuminated, tells me I'm not ready to drive hard yet. But since mine is gone, it's time to go. Now, under the hood is the award-winning 3.2-liter inline-six borrowed from the M3. 0 to 60 in under 5 and over 100 horsepower per liter. Now, in tight cornering situations, the M feels great underneath you. Stiff chassis, great steering response, and throttle response. I don't think it can get away from you. The brakes are built for performance, but they've got great features like brake drying, fade compensation, and soft stop, which means a smooth stop every time. Now, as far as safety goes, the M Roadster has best-in-class ratings in both frontal and side impacts. Plus, it has BMW's dynamic stability control. Without DSC, bad road conditions can leave you spun out. With DSC on, which is the default position, the computer talks to the brakes and the throttle, keeping the car under control in any conditions. Yet another feature that makes the M Roadster worthy of its pedigree. In case you couldn't tell, I had a great time. The M Roadster is a fantastic car to drive, and it's available starting next month for $52,000. More to come from here at the Auto Show. We'll go to Mercedes and Porsche.
Oh, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime, no help from my friends. So, oh, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz?
Introducing the all-new bigger RAV4. With an EPA estimated 30 miles per gallon, it can handle anything, no matter what gas prices might do.
Time to order your flowers from FTD. Visit your local FTD florist. Ask about same-day delivery. Visit your FTD florist today.
We're Detroit, the Motor City. Dreamers, doers, drivers. The world has come to see and be seen. It's the North American International Auto Show, where the cars of today, tomorrow, and beyond have been showcased for all the world to see. It's all been brought to you by your Metro Detroit auto dealers, who wish to thank these fine sponsors for their exceptional support. Denso, KPMG, Johnson Controls, Michelin, Northwest Airlines, and ZF. Be sure to visit NAIAS.com to learn more about this year's show and plans for next year's great event.
A star-studded showdown on Broadway. Crosby and the Penguins tangle with Yager and the Rangers, or regional action. Next Saturday at 2 Eastern, the NHL is on NBC.
Year 20 of the AFL kicks off in style. Tony Graziani's out to lead Bon Jovi's boys to the next level. But the Stafford to Solomon TD connection has the storm-thinking title. Tampa battles Philly or regional action. Week 1 of the AFL on NBC next Sunday at 3 Eastern.
Next Saturday at 2 Eastern, it's the NHL on NBC. Most of you will see the Red Wings versus Mike Modano and the Dallas Stars. Others will see Sidney Crosby and the Penguins head to Broadway to battle it out with the Rangers or defending Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay and Philadelphia. That's the NHL on NBC next Saturday, 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific. Check your local listings for the game in your area.
Welcome back to Detroit, Michigan, and the North American International Auto Show on NBC Sports. Well, with its coupe-like roof design, the Audi Q7 may look like a crossover, but don't make that mistake. This is a full-size SUV. It sits 7 people. In fact, it gives you tons of flexibility inside. It has 28 different seating configurations, and helping in that fact is that both the second and third rows fold completely flat. And in fact, the third row is totally removable. And while the Q7 has all the safety features Audi is known for, it also features terrific performance. It will come with 2 engine combinations, a V8 with about 350 horsepower, available this spring for around $49,000, a V6 with 280 horsepower, which will come out in the fall for around $43,000. The Q7 also features fuel-straight injection technology, which not only enhances its performance, but also increases its fuel efficiency. The S6 and S8 are both sport versions of the very popular A6 and A8 Audis. The people at Audi say these two are for the luxury sports car enthusiasts with all the sport you can handle without sacrificing any comfort. Both have slightly larger engines than their A counterparts, a 5.2-liter V10. Both models will be available this fall, with the S6 starting around $70,000 and the S8 for around $90,000. Dave?
The GL 450 premiered here at the Detroit Auto Show as the first luxury SUV from Mercedes. It's got a unique design. It's made from first-class materials inside and out, and it incorporates the latest in safety technology. Its unibody construction offers a passenger car-like ride, but it's lightweight enough to help with fuel economy. It's all-wheel drive and has an off-road switch to work its engine and transmission management system. Under the hood is a 4.6-liter V8 that's good for 340 horsepower. Inside, the 450 is a 7-seat design. Its spacious interior has a power-folding third row that gives you 83 cubic feet of storage. It's being built in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and will be available later this spring. Now, right next door here at the show is the Maybach 57S, and the S stands for special. This car rides a little lower and has a firmer suspension than Maybach's 57 and rides on 20-inch wheels. It has a 6-liter engine that generates 604 horsepower and can go from 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds, but you're probably not going to be racing this car down the street. This is truly a super luxury vehicle, and it'll be available in the spring at certain Mercedes dealerships at a price of around $367,000, though only 40 will be produced and 36 are already spoken for. You better hurry. Alan?
Well, over here at Porsche, they've got a couple new things for 2006 to show off. This is the Cayenne Turbo S, introduced to the public for the very first time here at the International Auto Show. The Turbo S has the same 4.5-liter engine as the regular Turbo, though it's tuned a little differently. It squeezes out an additional 75 horsepower, making the total 525. That's pretty sporty, huh? Also lowers the 0 to 60 time from 5.2 to 4.8 seconds. The exterior only slightly different between the two. The Turbo S has a couple additional air intakes up front and the oval-shaped sport pipes out rear. Turbo S should be available in the next month or so. Base price is going to be $111,600. Now this is the real deal from Porsche, new for 2006. This is called the Cayman S. It falls in between the Boxster and the Carrera in the Porsche line. They asked me if I wanted to take one out and test drive it to show you how it works. I thought, given Porsche's storied history in racing, what better place than on the track? This is the Cayman S, new from Porsche for 2006. It fits in their line between the Boxster and the 911. The styling, it just says Porsche, doesn't it? It's classic. No mistake in this car for anything else. But where the Cayman S is different is here at the rear bodywork, because unlike most mid-engine cars, the Cayman S has storage space here at the back as well as in the front. You can fit your golf clubs in there. But how does it drive? Ah, that's the question. This is Barber Motorsports Park outside of Birmingham, Alabama, home of the Porsche driving experience. It's where you can come to learn how to let one of these babies loose. And believe me, this Cayman S wants to be let loose. The interior of the car is very roomy, surprisingly roomy for a two-seater sports car. The seat adjusts 6 ways, the steering wheel 2 ways. You get perfectly comfortable behind the wheel, and you need to be comfortable to go fast. The engine in the Cayman S has got plenty of pep. It's 3.4 liters. It's rated at 295 horsepower. But for all that power, it sips the gas. It doesn't gulp. Something they call VariCam technology helps this car get 20 miles per gallon city and 28 on the highway. We came to the racetrack today on one of those sections of interstate highway that's concrete, you know, all the expansion joints, bump, bump, bump. Not in the Cayman S. Smooth as glass. It was a really sweet ride. But that's the highway. What can this thing really do? Let's go over to the autocross course and let me get some help to show you. This is Hurley Haywood, decorated sports car champion, Daytona, Le Mans, Sebring. He's won them all. Hurley, I need somebody to really show what this Cayman can do. Can you help me out?
Would love to.
All right, let's hit it.
Every Porsche that has ever been made has its own personality. With the Cayman S, they've really kind of sharpened the edge. It's got 295 horsepower, which is about 10 horsepower more than the Boxster S. Brakes, of course, are phenomenal. It's very precise. There's no understeer, there's no oversteer. The car is very, very balanced. So when you're driving this car on the street or on the racetrack, you immediately notice that the line is much more secure, and it's a very stable piece.
With the extra luggage space, the great fuel mileage, and the wonderful all-around handling, Porsche says you could make this Cayman S your everyday car. I wonder if they'd let me use it every day. So how nice is this Cayman S? I've been sitting in it while they trailered it all the way from Birmingham, Alabama to Detroit. Well, okay, maybe not, but I could have if they'd let me. Still to come on NBC's coverage of the International Auto Show, a very special tribute to a very special man.
The all-new Ram Mega Cab has an available Cummins diesel, the only reclining rear seats, and the most rear seat legroom in a truck. It has the world's biggest cab.
Hey guys. Later. Okay. Who's riding shotgun?
I'm good.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Hi, honey.
Comfy back there?
The Dodge Ram Mega Cab. Yeah, it's that big. For the first time ever, get $1,000 overstock bonus cash and grab a Ram Mega Cab for around $32 grand.
Between my 2 phone bills, it's probably about $60 a month.
About $150.
Probably $100 a month.
With Vonage, you get unlimited calls to anywhere in the U.S. and Canada, and all the cool features you could ever want are included. And it's just $24.99 a month. Call 1-800-972-4866 and get your first month free. This offer is also available online and at these fine retailers. Vonage, leading the internet phone revolution.
Think you've got what it takes to go one-on-one with heads-up master Phil Hellmuth? Log on to NBCHeadsUp.com for your chance to win a spot at the table against the best pros in Vegas.
Have the ace of diamonds.
Test your mettle in the online heads-up game and be entered to compete in the National Heads-Up Championship at Caesars Palace.
Jack of diamonds! I called them both!
Contest begins January 9th and winner will be selected February 12th.
There's a poker guy.
Practice today, only at NBCHeadsUp.com.
4 years ago, he was moments from winning 2 gold medals. This February, Apollo Anton Ono is back for more. Apollo, part of America's best team ever, only the Olympics.
Mark your calendars, Sunday, February 19th. It's the Great American Race, NASCAR's biggest day, the Daytona 500. Don't miss Jeff Ford, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Tony Stewart, and all of NASCAR's biggest stars as they make a run at history. That's the Daytona 500, Sunday, February 19th on NBC.
Back at the International Auto Show with NASCAR driver Jimmy Johnson and owner of West Coast Customs, Ryan Friedlinghaus. We're getting ready to show you this hot rod, but not until we take a peek at those final few frantic days where Ryan's team gave an American muscle car a meaningful second life.
At the end of the day, there's something about that rawness that is a muscle car that just hits everybody. There was something about looking at that car and the person who was driving it that you said, this is bad boy. And that's what America does well. They do a good job at building a bad car in a good way.
Welcome back, everybody, to West Coast Customs. We got 2 weeks of the Detroit Auto Show. We've been working a lot, but we got a lot of work left. So let me show you what we've been doing.
So Ryan, the Camaro looks blocked down, almost ready for paint.
It's blocked down and totally stripped out, but you can see we're getting rid of all the rust, bringing it down to metal. Gonna get ready to prime it hopefully tonight, get it in a booth on Friday for some color. They're working on the interior right now in Ish's room. We're doing the stereo system in it.
So here it is, the Randy Dorton motor, the 10,000 RPM NASCAR motor. The question is, how's it getting in there?
That's a good question. I mean, this is a crazy motor. This is a basic stock frame. It's not gonna work. So we got a Smith Racecraft front suspension, pretty much the whole front clip. We're gonna cut that out, put that in there, drop the motor in. Sounds easy, but it's really not. The guy's got it sanded, it's sealed, and ready to be painted. Next time you see it, it's gonna taste just like candy.
A lot of work for the crew at West Coast Customs, but now it's time to show you what they came up with. Jimmy's actually seen the car once already, revealed on the Today Show. But Jimmy, as you pull the cover back for the second time, give us your initial reaction.
I just couldn't believe the color. The color really does pop. The candy apple red is tough to do. Randy's color was red, and to be able to have his engine, you know, the heart of this car with the red color, the simple interior, the modern look, or younger look, I should say, with the Wilson tires, jamming system. I can't wait to pull up next to someone at a stoplight. You know, they give me a quick look, and I stand on the gas with 850 horsepower and do a big burnout and drive away. So
you have a big smile on your face like when you revealed this, right?
Absolutely.
Now, Ryan, I understand the last few days at West Coast, bit of a thrash.
Just a little bit, but we're used to it. Give you a little quick tour. The trunk, we kept a little simple, threw a nice sound system in it by Sony. I mean, kept it simple, but enough thump in this trunk if you want to turn the radio up.
Very good, and Ryan's already tested that, I promise you.
Yeah, you know. Big wheels and tires. Big brakes to stop that big motor, and then a nice stock interior, but the West Coast touch to it.
The heart of this thing's really under the hood, so show me the Randy Dorton motor in there.
As you can see, it was a little bit of a work, but we did what we needed to do. We're gonna send it to Hendrix to do the last couple little minor details on it.
You didn't want to do the final plumbing and hookup here?
Nah, I kind of want to leave it to the professionals that do NASCAR. So hopefully Jimmy in a couple weeks will be running Daytona on the beach or something. I don't know.
No, this is fantastic. That motor looks great in there. And a part of this whole program was Rides Magazine helped pulling this thing together. Ryan, what role, actually Brian Scotto, what role did you guys play in putting this together?
Well, we heard the story about the motor, and from that point we moved forward and we said, you know what, it's a no-brainer to just do this with GM, get together with a 67 Camaro, shoehorn this thing in, and you know, debut it right here for the 40th anniversary of the Camaro and the new concept. So it's just great.
And this car definitely qualifies for rides?
Yeah, I'm going to certify it.
Very nicely. And Jimmy Johnson, already behind the wheel here, what are you going to do with this car when you first get it on the road?
850 horsepower, 10,000 RPM. I think burnouts are in order.
This car truly honors Randy, then, in your opinion?
It certainly does. You know, Randy would love this car. To have this engine in this car to bring back all the great memories of Randy and really everybody that was on that airplane. A lot of great friends were lost. We're hopeful that we could build a beautiful car and bring back those positive thoughts, and I really think it was accomplished. I've got to thank everybody for the hard work and beautiful piece here.
And thanks for sharing it with us. We'll see you in a couple weeks for the Daytona 500 right here on NBC. And when we come back, we'll wrap things up here at the International Auto Show.
Trucks are made for pulling. That's why the 5.4-liter V8 in the Ford F-150 uses an innovative 3-valve design. 3 valves allow the engine to breathe better, crank out more power, and pull more than you ever thought possible.
I was picking up our son from school. One of my neighbors saw the gardener hanging around the back door. We don't have a gardener, but we do have ADT. Its home security is so good, it actually helps stop break-ins from happening.
A single ADT system can help protect your home and loved ones from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. So call now and save up to $200 on an ADT protection package.
ADT works. Just ask the bad guys.
ADT, always there.
NBC tonight on an all-new Crossing Jordan. 2 soldiers are killed, one in the line of duty, the other on American soil.
These 2 never cross paths.
But it's not the enemy. This mystery goes much deeper.
We'll find out what happened to your son. You have my word.
All new Crossing Jordan, tonight on NBC.
NBC Thursday is the new night for My Name is Earl and The Office, right after Will and Grace and the all-new 4 Kings, the 2 funniest comedies on TV now on Thursday nights.
If I had $1 million, 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 I'd be rich.
It's taken us a while, but we finally made it to our favorite stop here at the International Auto Show, Millionaire's Lane. Benny, we saved the best for last. You win the lottery, this is where you come to shop.
And Bill, I'm sure that you and the rest of the guys would choose something with performance and handling involved, but I'm getting to the age that comfort comes into play.
You got something in mind?
Do I ever?
All right, let's find out what the other guys are going to buy with their lottery winnings.
Well, Bill, it's a hard task, but you know, we've seen so many great cars today, and I'm going to go with an old-time favorite, the Ferrari. This is the 430 Spider. It's an upgrade from the 360 Spider. This car has everything you could imagine. A bigger 4.3-liter, normally aspirated engine. It cranks out, about 485 horsepower, which translates into a top speed of about 195 miles an hour, and a 0 to 60 time in less than 4 seconds. All that for a modest about $215,000. And my favorite car here, they took it away. It's the Ferrari FXX. The 2-seat coupe has a 12-cylinder engine that puts out about 850 horsepower. The price tag, 1.5 million euros or 1.8 million American dollars. And check this out for exclusivity. Only 29 of them are made. Now, I'm on the waiting list. I'm number 30. I need to borrow some money, but I'm hoping for the next one. Dave, what's your favorite car?
Well, good luck with that, Marty, but I know if I order one of these today, the Lamborghini Murcielago, I can have it in 6 months. And why would I want it? Well, because it's the world's only open mid-engine V12 sports car, and it's outrageous. 580 horsepower in those 12 cylinders, 0 to 60 in, I can't count that fast. And look at the way this car fits me. This car loves me. How could I say no to this car? Even at $350,000, how could I say no? Alan?
Hey, Dave, I've settled on the Maserati Quattraport Sport GT. It's new for 2006. They call it an athlete in an Armani suit. Let me tell you, it looks good and it runs fast. How about a 400 horsepower 8-cylinder engine that'll get you a top speed of 170 miles an hour? Very nice looking 20-inch wheels to cover brakes and suspension that are upgraded for performance. That'll help you handle all that horsepower. Now, this model lists for about $111,000, but there are an endless number of options you can choose from that'll change that price some. Here's one other way you can tell this is a sport model from Maserati. Where the interior on most Maseratis is finished in wood, this is finished in carbon fiber. Sounds racing, huh, BP?
That comfort I was looking for, I have found it. Down in Florida, the community I live in, Vince Carter's mother lives in there. Vince, he's a basketball player for the New Jersey Nets. When he comes to see his mother, he drives his Bentley convertible, and he looks awfully good. For a couple of years, I've been admiring Vince riding around in that convertible. But Vince, I look just as good in this one. Bill?
Benny, that looks like a good fit for you, but I'm going to take the history and horsepower behind this Chevy Camaro concept car. And when it comes to comfort, my foot reaches the accelerator in this thing just fine. In fact, I might hop in it and drive it straight to Daytona. We've come to the end of the road. Next on NBC, the Chevrolet U.S. Snowboard Grand Prix, and we'll see you 4 weeks from today in Daytona for the Daytona 500. Thanks for having us in for the show, and so long from Detroit.
Well, the midnight headlight find you on a rainy night, steep grade up ahead, slow me down, making no time. But I gotta keep rolling. Those are windshield wipers slapping out a tempo, keeping perfect rhythm with the song on the radio. But I gotta keep rolling. Ooh, I'm driving my life away, looking for a better way.
Thursday.
You're going to prep him for surgery.
Open up to an all-new My Name is Earl.
I'm out.
There won't be a dry eye in the house.
Time for your drops.
No.
You're gonna make me wrestle you, aren't you?
Yes.
Then it's The Office with Steve Carell, winner of a Golden Globe.
I'm just sorry that I threw that thing out.
All-new comedy Thursday on NBC.
Looking for something to do this weekend? Go to Pittsburgh.com and get the inside scoop on the hottest events. Go to the e-news section and click on Weekend Alerts. Every week, we'll send you a list of weekend concerts, festivals, and more. It's fast, easy, and only on Pittsburgh.com. Make Pittsburgh.com your source for entertainment on the web.
Celebrate Mardi Gras at Station Square Tuesday, February 28th. The party starts at 5 p.m. with free beads, beer specials, and parking for only $2. How would you like to win a brand new 2006 Pontiac Torrent? You could drive away a winner by entering the Pontiac Torrent Live and Large Sweepstakes. Log on to WPXI.com. Click on the Pontiac Torrent Live and Large Sweepstakes and register online for your chance to win a 2-year lease. And test drive the sleek new Pontiac Torrent at your local Western Pennsylvania Pontiac dealer. And get a free $10 get-go from Giant Eagle gift card while supplies last. WPXI and Pontiac want you to start living large.
Severe Weather Team 11 Alert brings you current weather and traffic conditions from Severe Weather Center 11.
Welcome to the Lincoln Financial NBC Sports Report. Here's your host, Jimmy Roberts.
And hi again, everyone. We welcome you back to our New York studio. Coming up next, the U.S. Olympic snowboarding half-pipe team will be named at the conclusion of the Chevy Snowboard Grand Prix. But first, some news from the NHL this afternoon. Chicago Blackhawks goalie Nikolai Khabibulin sprained his left knee Friday night, and he will be out for up to 6 weeks. Now, that means he may well miss the Olympic Games. Remember, he was expected to start in goal for the Russian team. Meanwhile, an exciting day yesterday in the league. 3 games decided in a shootout and another in overtime. It all started in New Jersey with the Devils hosting the Islanders. What else? A shootout. Trent Hunter with the puck for the Islanders, skating in on Martin Brodeur, but he hits the post. So that sets up Zach Parise for the game winner, and he slips it past Rick DiPietro. Devils win their 9th straight 3-2, haven't lost in the new year. In Phoenix, another shootout. Ladislav Nagy with a chance to win the game, and he beats Jussi Markkanen. The Coyotes beat the Oilers 4-3. In Boston, yet another shootout. Peter Sikora puts the Rangers ahead 2-1. He beats Tim Thomas right there. So Brad is Bister needing a goal to extend the shootout, but Henrik Lundqvist stops him, and the Rangers win it 3-2. In L.A., late third period, San Jose pulls its goalie, and Joe Thornton scores to tie the game and send it to overtime. Now, late in the extra session, San Jose on the power play. Patrick Marleau beats Matthew Garin with 9 seconds left on the clock to win the game for the Sharks, 4-3. We will see you a little bit later. Remember, stay tuned for the naming of the U.S. Olympic halfpipe team. That's coming up next.
This has been the Lincoln Financial NBC Sports Report.
The U.S. Snowboard Olympic team is flying high, with medal favorites Shaun White and Gretchen Bleiler leading the way. but some tickets to Torino remain, and they can be purchased just 1 hour away from the Big Apple at the Mountain Creek Resort, where Hannah Teeter and Mason Aguirre hope to secure spots on the team. But a whole host of talented riders will be nipping at their heels, for it's the last chance to make it. The train to Torino makes its final stop in New Jersey. Next. The scene is set for the third and final stop of the Chevrolet U.S. Snowboard Grand Prix. And the pipe is lit for a competition with Olympic implications. How's it going, everyone? Pat Parnell. I'm joined by Olympian pro snowboarder Todd Richards. This is the moment we have been waiting for. By the culmination of the two events held here in Mountain Creek Resort, New Jersey, we will know who makes the U.S. Olympic snowboarding team as we look forward to the 2006 Winter Olympics in Torino, Italy. Now, the pressure could not be any greater for all the competitors, I'd say barring one individual. We're talking about Shaun White, 3 wins prior to coming to this stop, and some surprise success from some of the younger riders amidst the veterans.
For real, we've got Shaun White, who's shown dominance to this series, the legs no one has ever seen in snowboard competition, winning all the events coming up to this culminating event. But this kid, Mason Aguirre, coming out of Mammoth Lakes, he's been on the podium with Shaun a couple times here. He is showing what is possible when you got a guy like Shaun pushing the rest of the field. But you can't rule out the 2002 Olympic gold medal winner Ross Powers. You can always sneak in there too.
Along with silver medalist Danny Cass, all these guys in striking distance. Remember, it is your best 2 finishes out of 5 events amidst the 3 stops of the Chevrolet U.S. Snowboard Grand Prix. So anything can happen, and the energy here tonight electric as we get underway with the men's half-pipe finals. So looking back at this season, strong finishes. Shaun White, 2 wins, the virtual lock. Mason Aguirre, 2 seconds. But look at the rest of the riders, Todd. Some strong finishes there as well.
Strong finishes by Danny Davis and Ross Powers. And this next guy here, Danny Cass, he is looking for a solid result here at Mountain Creek, his home mountain, to get him even in contention to get on the team.
Yeah, his best finish so far this season, a 4th place. Yet to be on the podium. A strong finish here at this event would put him in definite contention for the team. Danny Cass dropping in first run of 2.
Danny is definitely capable right here of throwing down the type of run we've seen at contests like the U.S. Open and the X Games. And there it is, 2 back-to-back 1080s right away at the top of the pipe. This is the form that we come to expect to see from Danny Cass.
Cass slightly off form so far this season on the Chevrolet U.S. Snowboard Grand Prix, but that is the run we have been expecting from Danny Cass all year long. Kind of harkens back to last year at the Vans Cup in North Star, where he put down one of the best contest runs ever, kind of tapping back into that magic.
And Danny Cass right there throwing some magic on his second hit with the frontside 1080. Let's take a look at the big frontside 720 near the bottom of the pipe. Perfect Cass form.
A score of 41.40 as we send it down to the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Tina Dixon.
All right, Danny, putting together a great first run. Do you think having a home turf advantage is making the difference for you?
I think so. It kind of helped me out. Learned the frontside 10 tail grabs last week, so stoked to just come out here and put it down and run.
How long have you been waiting to put a run together like that?
It's been a few months now. It's definitely been a while, but stoked to get one.
So Danny Cass on top for the moment, but there is Danny Davis, currently in 3rd place when you talk about the top 2 finishes on the season so far, dropping in on his first of 2.
Danny Davis has been turning heads with big moves like that. Now watch this 1080 right here. Perfect form. Washing out.
Massive drift, and that was very unlike Danny Davis. That's probably the first mishap that he has had so far on the Chevrolet U.S. Snowboard Grand Prix.
Yeah, we've seen him throw down some runs at some of these other contests that just blew minds.
So surprise fall for Danny Davis. It'll come down to his 2nd run. The best of 2 runs.
Let's watch this frontside 1080 right here. Gets the grab, spins it all